Let's see here. Ooh. Oh my. What is cracking, everybody? It's MegapiemanPHD here, and welcome to a quick peek at Okhlos. This is an ancient Greek-themed game that is very, very difficult to describe, to the point that the only way to tell you about it is just to play it for you. I can't really compare it to much, if any, games that already exist. Now, this game is currently in development by Coffee Powered Machine, and it is not even available for sale. I found out about this game, contacted the developers, asked them if they would be interested in letting me show it off to you guys in my quick peek first impression series, and they said sure. They sent me a build of it, so thank you very much, Coffee Powered Machine. I really do appreciate it, and I will do my best to show this game off for you. Now, if I had to compare this game to anything, it reminds me a bit of an indie game that is still in production called Wildfire Worlds, in which you play as a random guy who is trying to make a riot and riot against the man. Now, this game is kind of similar to that, except it's set in ancient Greece. It is randomly generated, so you're always in a different area fighting against a different batch of enemies and have a different person you're playing as. Currently, we are playing as Prokopos, which sounds ancient Greek. I don't know if it is ancient Greek, but I don't have any idea if I pronounced that correctly because I can't speak ancient Greek, so I apologize if I say some of these names wrong. But if these names aren't ancient Greek, they are meant to sound like it, and they are really, really hard to say sometimes. But we are a philosopher who, from what I have gathered, is trying to build a community to rise up against the ancient gods of ancient Greece. Now, there's not actually a story to the game. This is just what I've taken from what you play throughout the game, and every time you play the game, even though there's always the same gods you're going up against, you're always a different person, and there doesn't seem to be any story elements besides just try to convert people to your side and don't die. Now, you can see currently I am level 4. I don't know why I'm level 4, considering I haven't actually done anything yet, but I am. You can see my life and XP, as well as my attack, defense, and speed. Now, by myself, I'm not really much of a threat. I can easily be overpowered by the multitude of enemies. We go back to the game. Take a look at the mini-map in the lower right-hand corner of the screen, and at the top of the screen, you'll see that there are 4 enemies that are remaining that I need to currently deal with in this particular level to not die. And all of the black marks on the minimap, those are enemies. So there are a lot of them, and they can easily take me out. In order to deal with that, we need to build the masses. As you see in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, there is a 1 out of 50 and a depressing mob. 50 is the amount of people that I can currently have on my side at one time, and it will tell me how good my mob is doing. The level my mob currently is. Since I don't have one, it's pretty bad. So we need to go convert some people onto my side by walking over them. And there's actually a different amount of units you can get, such as citizens who are good for everything just in general, these soldiers who are good for attacking, there are also blue soldiers who are good for defending, and slaves that are useful for holding your extra equipment that you can use to help your guys out and make sure that you can heal them as well as give them buffs. So now that I got myself a pretty sizable mob, got a good amount of people, let us attack! Destroy the man! Do my bidding, my children! Don't destroy the sign, destroy the guy who's trying to kill us all. Come on, go to the flag. Using the flag, your mob will go to wherever the flag is at, and if there's an enemy there, they will actually attack it. The problem, though, is, at least at this build in the game, they're kind of dumb. Your mob is not really the smartest of people, so a lot of times they'll kind of just surround an enemy and not always attack them. But it can also depend upon what you're building your mob out of. Now, if you want a mob that's really good at attacking, and then you want to get a lot of the red soldiers, because their main thing is attacking. They're basically Spartans, and their main thing is attacking and doing a lot of damage. If you want to make sure that your guys don't die so quickly, you want to get the blue soldiers so that they're good things defense. You can also pick up random animals, because apparently I'm a philosopher. I'm also Dr. Dolittle. I don't know why. You can get goats, chickens, bison. Did they even have bison in ancient Greece? I don't think so, but you can do it. and you can have them join your side and help you destroy all of the different priests and guards and everything that wants to kill you so that you yourself don't die. And you want to make sure that you keep your mob always doing something so they constantly level up. An idle mob is an unhappy mob, so you constantly want to be gathering units and having them attack something, even if it is just a sign or a building. If you get the right amount of level up for your mob, if you have a good enough mob, they will actually just flat out attack and destroy buildings for no apparent reason or signs just because you tell them to. So they're a little bit gullible. But there is more you can do besides just tell them where to go. You can actually buff them and heal them depending upon what things you currently have your guys holding. Now, the slave character is actually very useful because you see there is one right there who's carrying a batch of dynamite on his back. Your slave characters are the only ones who can actually pick up different items for it to use. Now you see on the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, there is a control pad with a dynamite on the right, a slice of ham on the left, and a coin at the top. And those are what you use to really help your team. The dynamite will allow you to you have a slave that will go and blow it up next to an enemy, will do a lot of damage. Got a philosopher joined. Oh no, we have a griffin. Kill the griffin! It is a horrible, evil beast that needs to die. The ham will allow you to heal your mob, and the coin will allow you to buff them, I believe. I'm not 100% sure what the coin does. All I know is that when I activate it, this blue aura goes around my mob, so I believe it's supposed to be a buff. Control-wise, the game doesn't control too badly. At this point in time, it is really designed... Let's actually stay... That guy holding the paper over there, that is a bureaucrat, and he will make my mob unhappy if we get him to join the mob. So let's make sure that we don't do that. My mob is already getting pretty unhappy just because they're not doing anything. But the control-wise, it's not too bad. The controls are definitely designed around using a controller, but I'm currently using the keyboard, and they still work okay for the most part. And it looks like I've killed 7 out of 7 enemies in this area. So let's just stay away from the bureaucrat and try to get on to the next area and move on. If I press the spacebar here, it'll actually allow me to do a little bit of a hustle, a bit of a sprint for a short period of time. But it's very, very short. So to move around, I'm using the WASD key, so using Wasad. And to control where my guys go by placing the flag, I'm using I, J, K, and L in the different combinations of that, which is very strange. It's not really what I would say would necessarily be the greatest combination of keys to use. I kind of wish I could just use my mouse to move it around, but at this point in time, you kind of can't do that. And to use the different buffs, such as if I want to use the TNT barrel, I need to press 7. If I wanted to use the coin, I would press 8, and if I wanted to use the ham to heal my party, I would need to press 9. So while the controls are all in one spot, they are still very strange, in my opinion, to just their locations. Let's see if I can grab this bison, and that will almost... I can get one more person? There we go. 50 out of 50 mob, and the mob is currently a reckless mob, so there's a good amount of them. Once you have as many people in your mob as you can currently have at that point in time, you can't convert anyone else over until you upgrade your mob, and you do so by going to a Heroes for Hire. Now, here, not only is the music really, really loud compared to the rest of the game, but you can take a look at all the different sort of people that you can buy. Now, buying these people are basically your upgrades. If I buy Plato, he is a super philosopher, which means he's tougher and stronger than a normal philosopher. He will increase the attack defense. I believe he will increase the attack defense, or he himself just has attack defense and max HP, but he costs 3 philosophers in order to buy him. If I wanted to pick up King Rahadamathus, if I'm saying that correctly, I probably am not, the king he has his own attack defense and max HP, but he will also give me 10 more mob capacity, but he costs 2 civilians in order to get. So since my current mob is maxed out and I have 21 civilians, let's buy this guy so that now I can have a larger mob. As you see on the left-hand side of the screen, we'll see all of the amounts of people that I currently have and what their current unit is. At this moment, I have 19 citizens, 2 defenses, 7 slaves, 1 philosopher, and 18 attacking guards. So I'm actually doing pretty well with my unit variation. so that I'm not always specifically designed around one unit type. You really want to have as many different types as you can do as well. And we can buy a couple more of these. Let's see, this magic staff grants him with the super healing powers will boost other healers in the mob. So let's pick this guy. Yes, pick him with enter. Do I have enough? No, I need 3 and I only have 2. But I can pick up this king who will give me 25 more people to my mob, and but in return sacrifice 25% of my current mob in order to get it, I guess. Let's just grab that guy. And let's see what else I can get. Doesn't look like anything else I really want to get at this moment. So let's just exit out of the Heroes for Hire and move on. Now, the music in this game, for the most part, is actually pretty good. I really like the music. Oh, that's what happened. It killed 25% of my mob in order to get that guy. All right, well, that was not expected in the least bit. But I can now have 85 people in my mob, which is actually pretty good. The music, for the most part, it's okay. It's kind of generic when you're in the normal game. And the best music, I would say, would be the music that is currently in the Heroes for Hire shop. But for some reason, it is so much louder than the normal music. It is ridiculous. I actually had to take my headphones off there when I was talking about the Heroes for Hire section, just because it is so ridiculously loud. Now, let's see if I can grab a few more people. All right, he's got himself a coin, so that is nice to have. Can I grab this sheep? I want to try to get my mob as big as I possibly can before I leave this area. There's no more enemies on the mini-map, so we can move on to the next area, which is over here to the left. Let's see if I can grab this Philosopher. I want to make sure I get as many units as possible so that next time I come across another Heroes for Hire, I can possibly get a more variety of heroes so that we can do better. Because heroes are the only way you can upgrade. The only way that you can upgrade your mob and make your mob do better... Do I not have a slave who can grab that? There we go. One of them grabbed it. The only way to upgrade your mob and make them better outside of just having more people or making your mob more furious is to get the heroes. You have to get the heroes if you really want to do well, from what I have seen so far. Let's go and attack this guy. Let's set off that dynamite. I think that might have hurt a few of my guys, but we took out 2 of them, which is really a good thing to do so that we don't die. There are a lot of enemies in this particular area, and that's kind of what you do just over and over again. You go to an area, you fight all of the enemies, you try to upgrade your mob, and then you move on to the next area all the way until you get to the boss. The entire thing is pretty much just a grind until you get to the boss so they can deal with the boss as well or as easily as you possibly can. Let's stay away from that bureaucrat so I can try to keep my mob happy. Can I not go around this building? There we go. And I really want to try to get my mob as furious as I possibly can. Now, if I had to compare this game to anything, I said a little bit earlier that I compare it to a game like Wildfire Worlds, which is a game that is currently in development and is a bit similar to this, but both games are definitely very unique in their own ways. Wildfire Worlds is its own... Oh, I got a bureaucrat. Dang it. Wildfire Worlds is its own game, and from what I've seen in that game is very different to this game. It's just they still have their own... similar kind of idea of you're trying to create a riot and you have to control a large mob and try to make sure that they don't all die. Can I destroy buildings yet? Not yet. If you get your mob mad enough, they will try to destroy buildings, so I need to find some more enemies. It doesn't look like I want to find more enemies because we got a boss right here, Apollo. Now, Apollo is the only boss in the game so far. There are only 2 levels in the game that I have played up to this point, since whenever you beat level 2, it goes right back to the title screen. There is this level, which is daytime, and then there is a night level. Both of the times you're going to get to the exact same boss. Okay, he's charging up there. No, no, Wilhelm Scream! Somebody died! The trick to this guy is you need to distract him from doing that by moving these pillars around that we can do with my amazing mob, because while he's distracted, he will try to put those pillars back, and he can't really do a really big attack. But as you see here, he's in the middle of my mob, and my mob is sometimes having issues attacking, which is one of the main issues that I've had with this game so far, is that sometimes, even though I tell my mob to go somewhere, even though there isn't... Let's actually use a buff. Even though there's something that they can do, they won't always attack the enemy. Sometimes they'll kind of just surround the enemy. Let's buff them again since we're now here at Apollo. Come back here! You will die, Apollo! You will die. I am a philosopher. We will create a brand new democracy. It doesn't need you and your Apollo things. So let's see if I can just get these guys to stay around him and do some damage. He will try to kill my mob off. Currently, I don't really do a lot of damage myself, so you really need to make sure that you have a really big, substantial mob so that they don't all die in one go. But the boss fight, it's okay. It's not really that fantastic. Hopefully they're able to work on the boss fights a little bit more to make them a little bit more interesting later on in development of the game. Because as I've said, this game is pre-alpha, so it is still very, very much in development. It is not even close to being done. It's not even an alpha or a beta. It is very much like the earliest prototype that the guys currently have available at Coffee Powered Machine that they were kind enough to send me. Let's see if I can surround this guy. He's getting close. We've almost taken him out. There's no real variation between this boss fight when you fight him again. If I move this tower over here, he shouldn't do his attack, since he usually is always focused on making sure his towers are over the exact same spots. So that's a good way. Let's use another buff. And so we're going to take him out. They're surrounding him. He's not moving. Doing a little bit of damage, depressing mob, unfortunately, so they're not going to do a lot of damage. But I just might be able to take him down. And boom goes the dynamite. At the end of the level, you get to see a victory screen. It'll tell you all of your stats. I came, I saw, I conquered. Elapsed time to be 12 minutes, 31 enemies defeated, 41 props destroyed. I had 108 people join my mob, 42 brave mobsters perished. I didn't die at all, thankfully, and I did 70 max damage for one hit. Total damage, 10,207. So you get a really good idea of all the different things that you've done right here at this nice victory screen. And we can move on to the next level, which will be the night level. Now, even though this is a night level and we still have our mob from before, the game is randomly generated, so even though there are only 2 current themes, day and night, as a bureaucrat, don't convert the bureaucrat. I think sometimes my mob can convert people as well, not just me. So I need to make sure that I stay from that as far as I possibly can. But the game is randomly generated so that even though there are only the 2 themes, you do constantly get something different that you can happen. You use different people to fight, different amounts of enemies, and different places you go to. It looks like something's a little bit glitched there. Destroy! Destroy! I really like the idea of this game, of just kind of, you yourself are not empowered. You have to rely on being able to build up a mob that will be able to do your bidding for you. They'll destroy the statues, but it doesn't look like they'll be able to destroy buildings yet. They're not quite as enraged as they need to be to destroy the buildings. So let's see if I can destroy a few more props to get them a little bit more enraged. And where are all of the enemies? Looks like they're up top, so let's hustle over there. I appreciate the hustle. I wish the hustle allowed me to move a little bit longer. I believe you can upgrade it. I don't think you can upgrade the hustle to be a Kung Fu hustle, but you can upgrade it nonetheless so that it'll last a little bit longer. But I believe the upgrade that makes the hustle last a little bit longer will also do damage to your units while it's happening. So you really need to be careful to make sure that you don't accidentally kill your units when you're just trying to move from A to B. See if I can get rid of a bit more of these props. I believe that's all of the enemies that are currently in this particular level. So far, the game's actually been fairly easy, which is a little bit sad. It hasn't been that difficult to build a mob, and they seem to take out enemies fairly easy as well. Maybe it's just the way that I have built my current mob, the fact that I have a good variety of units, so that I have both attacking, defense, and citizens. But I haven't really come across any time where I've died. I can't say I have ever actually died as the leader. They give you props there for the control pad. I don't know what those props mean because I am not currently using a control pad. So it's a little bit strange. Hopefully they'll be able to actually make the game a little bit more PC friendly as development goes on. So whatever they're saying there for me to use the Y button, whatever that would do, they'll actually give me a PC input. I do have a controller that I could use, but the game is out on PC, so I wanted to make sure that its PC controls worked well to begin with. And they do. They work well for the most part. They're a little bit awkward to get used to, but they still work. I need to take out a few more enemies before the next area will unlock, since the only way to move on to the next area is to constantly be taking out all of the enemies in the area you're currently at. Look at the carnage! Oh, they destroyed a building. They destroyed a building. Will they destroy the buildings now? Yes, they will. Mega chaotic mob engage. It's beautiful. Destroy everything. That is amazing. I love that. That is the most fun you can have in this game. Just telling your mob to go somewhere and having them just demolish it. Even though they're civilians, even though they're guys with spears, somehow they can just flat out demolish a building, and it is wondrous. Let's heal my guys up using some hams. They do have some ham. We'll take this guy out. I've got a really good mob right now, and they are pretty much leveled up pretty well. For the most part, I've seen that when I have played the second level, they seem to level up a lot more than they did in the first level, since there are more enemies to deal with, so there's more your mob can do, and the more your mob does, the more you keep them doing things, the more frantic they get. And the more of a riot things become, so the more damage they do. I believe it causes them to do more damage, because, I mean, they can destroy buildings now, so I would assume it'll allow them to do more damage. So they actually they get a bit better at their job as you progress, and as they get more and more used to be a rioting mob. You can't buy them any pitchforks, though, or torches, which is a shame. I guess torches existed in ancient Greece, but I don't know if pitchforks did, in the sense of the fashion of pitchforks that we currently think of. But yeah, for the most part, I mean, I really like the aesthetic of this game. I really like the ideas of this game. And I can't wait to see where Coffee Powered Machine takes this idea, how they are able to take it and just roll with it, just go absolutely insane with the idea of building a mob and just going crazy with it. I mean, my guys just destroyed a bathhouse. That giant bathhouse, it is gone. This two-story building, it's gone. This giant, massive building down here, it's gone. You actually need to be careful about destroying buildings, because you can destroy the Heroes for Hire building so that you can't buy any more upgrades. You really need to be careful you don't do that if you want to buy upgrades, because that's not really that great if you haven't had a chance to buy any more upgrades. And then, let's blow these guys up. Do I have any? No, they all died. Or do I? Yeah, there we go. Finally it works. Okay. I thought my slaves who had those died, because if your slaves die when they're holding something, then they will, of course, drop what they're holding because they are no longer alive. But there are some really cool guys you can get to really play around with the dynamics of your mob, such as if you buy Spartacus, then your slaves will actually revolt and do more attacking damage instead of carrying things around. So there's a good variety of ways that you can actually tailor your mob to work the way that you want it to. Let's see what we can buy here. Is Spartacus one of the characters that I can buy right now? And it looks like every time you play the game, they will always so randomly give you a different amount of upgrades to get, so you don't always get the same people. King Midas. Let's pick up King Midas. I think that's about what I'm going to get for right now. I love that music, that saxophone. It is beautiful. Destroy! He has too much saxophone. There was no Spartacus. And now we have destroyed the only thing we could do to upgrade. Oh, it's beautiful. It's a wonderful little game, and I really can't wait to see where Coffee Powered Machine goes with it. But thank you guys for watching this quick peek at Okhlos, a mob riot building simulator that's currently in development by Coffee Powered Machine that does nothing more than just create a lot of really fun destruction. It may not be that in-depth of a game, but it is a ton of fun, and I cannot wait to see what all they do with this, and how in-depth they're able to make it, and how they really play with this idea. It's a really fun idea. I've only ever seen one other game do anything really close to this, and that was Wildfire World, and even so, Wildfire World does it in a very different fashion than Okhlos currently is, having their game really work. So I believe up here is just the boss Apollo again. I'm not going to make you guys have to watch me go fight this guy again, but that would be the end of the short prototype that they currently have. Then you guys are watching this quick peek at Okhlos, currently in development by Coffee Powered Machine. It is not available for sale, it is not available for download, so I can't say how much it will be when it does fully come out, but definitely keep your eye out for this game. Looks like it'll just be a ridiculous amount of fun when it fully does come out. Thank you guys for watching this quick peek. I've been MegapieMan, and I'll talk to you guys later.